up, guys? Inigami here, and it's time for a ton of One Piece Characters news. Oh yes! Starting with the most boring stuff on Japan, we are getting version 7.1, which included in a new Sugo Fest coming out. The Sugo Fest is gonna be on the 22nd to the 23rd. That Japanese Sugo Fest is gonna have a bunch of secret characters on there and old 6-star characters too. And a lot of the secret characters are pretty good. If you want to pull on that, go ahead. It's up to you. Remember that I will never ever give advice about whether or not you should pull during a Sugo Fest. If you come to me and ask if you should pull, you fucked up, because I'm not gonna give you a proper answer. Flip a coin, ask a magic 8-ball. They will give you a better answer than I ever will. And whether or not you pull is always going to be completely up to you. Now, what is also coming on Japan is that they are giving new functions to new characters, which we don't exactly know what that is. That might be like sailor abilities on additional characters or something like that, or it might just be a new type of ability that we haven't seen before. That could be pretty cool for upcoming characters. But what is most interesting about version 7.1 on Japan is that we are going to be getting the pull rates for rare recruit characters. Now, this is something that has happened on other games, like the Japanese version of Dokkan Battle and Naruto, that are also done by Bandai, also has these things, but it'll tell us ideally the rate of how much we're what's the rate of getting legends and the rates of getting other characters. So that's gonna be pretty interesting. So now you can see, ask you what's the chance of getting a 6-star character, but now you don't have to ask me. Now you'll know. So that's gonna be great. On the global version of One Piece Characters, we've got 6.0.1. So let's go over everything in 6.0.1. So we're getting the Super Evolution ability, which is awesome. So you are going to be the plus versions that we talk about. That's going to be 5+ Luffy, 5+ Nami, 5+ Zoro are going to be the ones we're going to start out with. Eventually, like Japan, we're going to get 5+ Rayleigh, Hancock, Sabo, which isn't even out in Japan yet, Chopper, Usopp, Sanji, and we're probably going to get the other Straw Hats too, which still haven't come out in Japan, but I would expect them to. So these 6+ versions, in order to evolve them, you must have the 5+, or if let's say we're talking about the Straw Hats, the 5-star Straw Hats to the 5+ Straw Hats. You must have the Straw Hat as the 5-star version. So you have to have, say, Gear 2 Luffy. That's a version 1 Gear 2 Luffy. It can be any level. You don't have to have them maxed out, but you will need their skull. In order to get their skull, there's a very specific way to do it. And that is to either some of the characters will get as promotionals. So on Japan, we got Luffy automatically. Everyone got Luffy. But in order to get Zoro or Nami, you would have to pick one of them out of 2 you get in the mail. And then the other one you must farm for. You will farm for him on the 3-day 2-year island, which also we can assume is going to be coming out very soon after this update, because we need that 3-day 2-year island in order to farm those skulls, like the Zoro skull and the Nami skull. And once you evolve them, you can't unevolve them. So let's say you get Zoro to 5+ Zoro. If you suddenly don't want 5+ Zoro anymore, you could always go back to the old Zoro. But if you do that, you will have to get that skull all over again in order to evolve him again. So it's not, you can't freely swap between the two, because it will take you evolution materials in order to evolve and de-evolve it. We're gonna get sailor abilities. So sailor abilities are abilities, or crewmate abilities, or what they're called. I'm gonna be referring to a lot of things as what we've been translating them as, and over time I'll slowly start using the correct official jargon for these things. So the crewmate abilities are only active on characters when they are not your captain. For example, Rare Recruit Sentomaru, his crewmate ability is that he cannot be blown away. For example, Raid Boss Kuma blows away a character. If he tries to blow away Rare Recruit Kuma, Rare Recruit Kuma will not, Rare Recruit Sentomaru will not be blown away by Kuma. And a lot of characters' sailor abilities or crewmate abilities are stuff like boosting your character's attack, boosting characters' attacks, recoveries. There are characters that reduce the blindness duration of your team. There are characters that will reduce their own binding. There will be characters that reduce their own paralysis and silencing, prevent themselves from being silenced. There are all sorts of very cool sailor abilities. None of these are actually active in the calculator yet. The ones that matter are sailor ability, or are stat boosting ones that boost attack and stuff like that. So we will have to work on updating that in damage category. No ETA on when that'll be updated though, because I've been very busy personally, and I haven't had time to update any new features on the database. And Aladdin just saying, one of my mods is the one who's been updating a lot of the information on the database. And if you do want to help us out with the database, we are always looking for more people to help us out. Any GitHub site is always going to be completely open source. And if you know how to use GitHub, you can always go to the site, download your version of your repository, make changes, and then request a pull request and let us know. We can check it and make sure if it looks good, we can add that pull request to the database. So, you know, if you say, hey, the database is so easy to update, you want to just do this, help us out. Help us out in the database. We need help. This is all just a fan project that we are getting paid absolutely nothing for to update the database. So we can always use that little bit of help. Double stamina, double rewards. What the double stamina, double rewards are is on select islands. I'm going to click on this one down here because it will show us more information about it. On select islands, that's any returning Fortnites and returning Colosseums, not new Fortnites and Colosseums. Returning Fortnites and returning Colosseum stages will have the option of doubling your stamina cost to get double the drops. So here's the plus crew ability. If you like to read over this, I'm going over a lot of it just by telling you about it, so you don't have to worry about reading it too much. I know you guys hate reading. So you can super evolve things. Remember that skill ups remain the same. So if you have a maxed out Gear 2 Luffy, that'll become a maxed out 5+ Luffy. So 5-star Luffy automatically gets his skill ups 5 maxed out if you evolve him and his skill ups are maxed out. If you only have 2 skill ups, you'll only have 2 skill ups when you evolve them. Any skill books that work for one version of that Straw Hat will work for the other version. So a Gear 2 Luffy skill up book will work to get you skill ups on your 5+ Luffy. Stats will change. You can evolve them once again at any level at all. In order to get the evolution materials, they'll give us more information about that later, but you can find them on the database where the skill books come, or where the skulls come from. And if we're lucky enough, like the Japanese version, then they will have some of them giving us to the mail for free, and that'd be pretty cool. Especially the in the first group, by the way, between Zoro and Nami, if we have that choice, I would definitely pick Zoro over Nami, although Nami is still good. And then if you have to choose between Zoro, Nami, and Luffy, I would pick Luffy because Luffy is one of the best free-to-play captains that we're going to have in a long, long time. There's going to be the ability to improve our sort, and this is so dang cool. So the way that sorting is going to work now is that you can now filter by things. So you can filter by only certain types. Like I can say I only want strength characters to show up, and I only want slashers to show up, so show me any strength slashers. I can say I want slashers and shooters, and I only want I want things that are explicitly slasher shooters, or I want things that are slashers or shooters. You know, filter between those types, and that's what this tells you. You can narrow it down by type. You can narrow it as inclusive or exclusive filtering for which types they are, and it's so useful to make, especially like whenever you are looking for if you're trying to make a slasher team. If you don't want to like try to remember what is a slasher to have, you can just click on the slasher stat, and then you don't have to worry about like what are my slashers. It really helps with remembering like what characters you have access to, and like, oh yeah, he's a slasher that I haven't really used, but his ability is perfect for what I need. The double stamina, double drop rate, here's one we were talking about before we got a little off track. So there are going to be 2 buttons down on some on return islands and return Colosseums. Now this also changes how I personally farm Colosseum stages, especially the first time a Colosseum comes out on the Japan version. Since this has come out, I've just been farming it one time in order to get that first copy of a character, and then going really hardcore farming return characters, just because spending twice the stamina in order to get double the drops save you so much time. It's amazing. Now it does mean if you lose, you'll lose out on twice the stamina, and it doesn't give you different rolls. So if you got a cotton candy on a run, you would get 2 cotton candies instead. If you got a turtle on a run, you get 2 turtles. If you didn't get anything useful on that run, you will get twice nothing useful. So it doesn't give you like 2 different sets of drops. It's just anything that does drop will be doubled. So if you get a useful skill book, that will get twice the number of useful skill books. If you get a cotton candy, you'll get twice the number of cotton candies. If you don't get anything useful, you get twice in things that are not useful. and it only applies to return Fortnites and return Coliseums. It will not be here on the most recent version of Coliseums and Fortnites, which hopefully we're gonna get that regular return Fortnite soon. That'd be really nice if Global gets regular return Fortnites. Hint, 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 hint. I would like that. Global, give us regular return Fortnites. That way, Coliseums. That way we get Coliseums all the time, and that's so much fun. Blaze, hey Blaze, how you doing? You wanted to see what was all the excitement, because there's so much excitement going on with Global. On the reward screen, you can now click on the details button to break down how your rewards were given to you. So if you're doing the double stamina, double Fortnite, or using characters that double your drops, like if you're using a Guild Tesoro captain or something like that, you can click on that button and it'll give you details about how you got your stamina or experience and berry breakdown. Although it really isn't that important, but it's nice if you forget why you got so much experience and stuff. And you can use it, of course, to get all that good stuff. It saves you so much time to get the good stuff. Crew abilities are divided into 3 types. The crew ability dividing into types isn't really that big of a deal. It just gives you a general idea without clicking on the crew ability what type it is. So the 3 types, they're boosting stat types. There are resistance types, so types that will reduce duration of blindness or binding or silencing or anything like that. And there are unique ones that are special, like Dex orbs now count as matching orbs for this quick character or something like that. Or a lot of characters have very, very cool sailor abilities, and we have them all in the database. If you want to check them all out, there's the ability to filter by has sailor abilities, and you can go through that and just look at them and see what all the exciting things are going to be coming out. Now, if this is like the Japanese version, we're not going to get them all at once, but we're going to get them in batches where it says here are these characters going to be updated with sailor abilities. And then okay, this is just more about sailor abilities. Where's the Rayleigh Shop? The Rayleigh Shop or the Rayleigh Bazaar. Yeah, you can all argue about what it's called all the time. Is Rayleigh Shop or Rayleigh Bazaar? So, the Rayleigh Shop / Bazaar is a way, basically, for players who have bought a lot of characters, who've done a lot of rare recruit pulls, to get rid of those rare recruit pulls and to make them into useful things. So if you do not do many rare recruits pulls, you don't really have to worry that much about the Rayleigh Shop. It's not going to do that. It's not going to be that important because you can't effectively farm for pirate points, or what's your training points? Training points is the official translation. You can't effectively farm for training points. You can sell stuff like raid bosses for training points. You can sell, but raid bosses, a 60 standard raid boss is only worth 10 points. 10 points is nothing. Whenever characters cost thousands of points. So 10 points compared to thousands of points means you have to farm like 100 copies of a 60 stamina raid boss in order to sell that 60 stamina raid boss to get a character. It's just really, really bad translation between a farming character and a trainer point. But what is good are rare recruit characters. So even useless rare recruit characters like Chaka, ones like Nami's sister, any of those characters you can only get from rare recruit are worth points depending on how many stars their maximum evolution is. So if they are a character that maximum evolves to a 4-star character, they're going to be worth 100 points. If they're a character that maximum evolve is a 5-star character, they're going to be worth 300 points. If they are a character that maximum evolves to a 6-star character, yes, you can sell 6-star characters, they're going to be worth 5,000 points. So if you have any spare copies of 6-star characters, you can sell them to Rayleigh Shop, get 5,000 points. So that's going to be pretty great. That's how I'm going to be spending all my schnaz. Now, there are some characters that you can technically farm for that are still worth Rayleigh points, and those are Impact Out Usopp and Vivi. Impact Out Usopp and Vivi are technically worth Rayleigh points, even though they are technically farmable. Even though you don't see them as farmable, people have still said you can get those characters from the islands, and you want to know where they drop from. Once again, the database is there for you, so look in the database and you can see where they come from. I don't recommend doing it though, because the drop rates of those characters are like 0.5% or something like that. It's terribly, terribly low, so low that they don't even tell you that the characters drop. But yeah, the Rayleigh shop has a ton of cool stuff. If you check out my Japanese video that goes over the Rayleigh shop and what you can get from there, it tells you everything that you can get. You can buy cotton candy, you can buy rainbow evolvers, you can buy almighty books, you can buy forbidden tomes, you can buy specific forbidden tomes, you can buy limited time characters, you can buy new ships, you can buy return limited time characters, you can buy all sorts of things. And it's mostly useful, once again, if you have those rare recruit characters that are not useful. So rare recruit characters you have duplicates of. Rare recruit characters you've already gotten, you want to get them, sell them to Rayleigh shop instead of powering them up for additional sockets or a chance for a skill up. That is my recommendation. That is a lot of stuff that's coming out on the global version of One Piece Treasure Cruise, guys. Oh, man. Now what we don't have is we don't have double the skill up chance. Permanent double skill up chance isn't here. That's okay, we're getting our temporary skill event still soon. We might be getting that, we might get the 2-year anniversary ace. I still have my hopes out there that we get them soon. Maybe we'll get them for the 2-year French anniversary, since the French anniversary is still the global anniversary video. Since the French anniversary is still also the global version, maybe we'll get a French anniversary event that's going to be super awesome. That's maybe where we'll get our 2-year anniversary ace and our other stuff, our permanent skill ups. Although that isn't until like August, so that's quite a ways away. Guys, get ready for global skill ups. Also a minor feature, adding a new feature will let you see what level that's recommended, so you can click on a stage, and whenever you click on the drops detail for that stage, it will now have a button on the very top of it. So let's say I click on the Duval, click on that, it's right above that boss character sign. That will tell you a number, and that's the recommended pirate level. But you know, if you know what you're doing, you actually do it with much lower level than most of those guys. Guys, I've been Zenigami, super awesome. Oh, quick reminder. The 1000 Sunny 2, the one that maxes out your character's skill levels at the start of the fight, is going to be going away very soon. It's going to be going away in 1 or 2 days, depending on when you watch this video. So make sure you do your Princess Turtles and Cotton Candy Island as quickly as you can before your 1000 Sunny 2 becomes a useless 1000 Sunny 2 and it loses all its special abilities and just gives you a 1.2 times attack. I'm Zenigami. Thank you so much for watching. Get hyped for global. Oh yes. The hype is real and the love will always be there. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do, you can go to patreon.com/Zenigami and subscribe. Or you can go over to twitch.tv/Zenigami and check me doing all this live where we play other games too. Y'all stay beautiful.